What's up, Agents? Zero here, and welcome back to Random Game Fridays. That's right, it's finally official. The games that I play on Friday that's not Pocket Edition is now going to be part of a brand new series. And so this is actually going to be the first video on the brand new playlist. I'm not going to search through my channel and get the other games on there. That's going to take too much time. So this is going to be the first video on that playlist, and we're playing the original Plants vs. Zombies. Now, I asked you guys on Twitter whether you wanted this or a game called Evo Creo, and you guys obviously voted for this. Now, I honestly feel like you guys would actually enjoy Evo Creo if I were to record it. But just so you guys know, there's actually two versions of this game on the App Store. There's the free version, which is ad-supported, and then there's the 99-cent version, which came quite a while before the free version, and apparently they haven't removed the ads at all, which I really wish they did, but there's not much I can do about it. So, anyway, let's go ahead and get straight into the action. Now, ordinarily when I play these kinds of games, I like to commentate on the actual gameplay itself. I've done that for a number of different games. However, this time is not the case because this game is so old and so well known. I highly doubt that there's any of you guys out there who have never seen or at least played this game before, so I'm not going to commentate on the actual gameplay itself like I normally do, but rather I want to talk to you guys about my experiences with this game. So, this game was originally released in 2009 off of PopCap.com, and it was a huge hit. And it earned a crap ton of awards just by this game alone. And so they had to revamp it because they were a little upset with some of the things that were in the game. Because there's one particular zombie called the Dancing Zombie, which looked too much like Michael Jackson. And the Michael Jackson estate didn't want the reference in there. So when the Game of the Year version came out, they wanted to make sure he was gone, so all future releases have the brand new disco dancing zombie. No, they actually released the Game of the Year version in a disc set, and the first one that came out came with a zombie figurine, and my mom bought that box set. She kept the zombie, but the disc was free to use for, I think it was like up to 3 computers at once, so I got a copy on my computer now. The copy that was on the computer ended up going onto an old Windows XP, which I still have. It still works, but the computer itself is so slow, it's not even worth using. I mean, I don't even play my Steam games on that computer either. Now, I was an absolute fan of this game. I played it every single day ever since I got on that computer. It was my favorite game back then. And it's just, I absolutely loved it. I mean, I went out of my way to make myself a hard copy of the Suburban Almanac, which I never published out to the public because one, it's a fan thing, and two, I don't feel like it needs to be out there. So I can go back and look at the stats of every plant and zombie I want whenever I want without having to ever load the game. That's how much I absolutely love this game. And I gotta say, I'm quite proud of the work I put into it. Now, while I was in fact playing this game, I was doing a lot of online reading, and I found out a lot of information regarding hacking and cheating the game using a program called Cheat Engine, and my initial thought was not even to go about using it in the first place. That is, until I found out about a hack that would enable you to access a page of mini-games called the Limbo page that was not accessible unless you hacked the game in a certain way. And so because I found that out, I finally decided to go ahead and get Cheat Engine and use it. Now, I will say there were a few other cheat codes I put into the game. Like, for example, more sun, stronger plants, aesthetic changes. But the limbo page, the hidden page of minigames, was the #1 reason why I ever hacked the game in the first place. And I feel like those minigames would have done so well on the normal game, but PopCap blocked it out. And so only people who know how to access it would be able to use it. So, granted, it was vanilla at my Plants vs. Zombies, at the same time it wasn't vanilla. Now, one thing that's interesting about that page is some of the game modes that has on it. If you guys are already aware, as soon as you beat Adventure Mode completely for the first time, you unlock Survival Mode, where you have to survive X amount of zombie waves, replenishing your seeds every so many waves. Now, if you beat all 10 survival levels, you get access to Survival Endless, where you have to survive as many waves of zombies as possible before you inevitably fail. Now, if you played Survival Endless on the original game, you will be restricted to just the pool. Now, going back to the Limbo page, if you access that page, you actually have access to Survival Endless on the 4 other areas of the game. That included daytime, nighttime in the pool, which is labeled as fog, and then roof. Survival Roof Endless is the main reason I kept going back to the Limbo page, and I honestly don't even remember what my high score is on that. Like I said, I still have the Windows XP that has it. Even though it's slow, I'm fairly certain that it will run Plants vs. Zombies just as well, but I have to reconfigure a number of wires from my Windows 10 to my Windows XP just to get it up and working. So I don't feel like it's even worth going back to the XP to play it. Now, I actually also happen to have the Nintendo DS and Nintendo DSiWare versions of the game. Now, the DS version of the game, you actually have access to certain minigames exclusive to it. One particular level which is exclusive to the DS version, which is not on all other versions, is called Sunny Day, and at least is it called Sunny Day? I don't remember. So, what Sunny Day was, if that's what even its name was, basically you're given 4 repeaters, sorry, not repeaters, 4 pea shooters and 2 walnuts, and then if I'm not mistaken, like 4 lily pads, and you had to drag those plants around on the screen, and there was no sun falling from the sky. You had to maneuver the plants around, and you had to yell into the microphone every so often because your pea shooters get tired out and stop shooting. And all of their versions of the game, they have you go against a whole bunch of mini zombies, and the plants are on a conveyor belt, and you have to take out all the mini zombies. Now, that's not the only difference there is to the Nintendo DS version. The other difference is that it has access to multiplayer, so one person is plants, one person is zombies. The zombies' goal is fairly obvious. Get past the plant defenses, get rid of the lawnmowers, and eat your opponent's brains. However, if you are the plant side, off to the right edge of the screen, there are 5 target zombies that the zombie side of the game is trying to protect. And as the plants, you have to take down 3 of those 5 target zombies to win, which was interesting. And I actually played the multiplayer mode quite often because I was actually not the only one that owned that card. My brother, he actually owned a copy of that game as well, and we play it quite often. It was really fun, and I absolutely loved the game. Now, I said that I also had the Nintendo DSiWare version, which had one minigame exclusive to it, which, if I remember, it's called Zombie Trap, and you have to coax zombies into an area on the lawn by dragging a brain around, and then dropping a cage down on around them, and try to kill a certain number of zombies. And if they eat the brain you're dragging around, you have replacements, but you only have a limited amount of replacements. And I actually still happen to have both my DS cartridge as well as my Nintendo DSi with Plants vs. Zombies on. I don't play it too often because, quite honestly, I kind of faded away from the scene of Plants vs. Zombies, because I found out that there's a whole bunch of other games, and you guys are probably already aware of Plants vs. Zombies 2. I actually used to play that game on a regular basis, but with the amount of updates that went out, it eventually got too large for me to keep on my tablet, and I just kind of got really bored with it. I mean, considering the fact that that game was my absolute favorite game, both the original and the sequel, you find it a little bit surprising to hear that I just got tired of my own favorite game, which, it just kind of happened. I don't know why I got tired of it, but I did. But while I played it, I enjoyed battling Zomboss. When that game first came out, Zomboss was not actually in the game. He was released as a later part of the game when the boss fights were introduced. And I played those a crap ton. I'm an absolute fan of boss battles on any game. I absolutely love it. It doesn't matter what game it is. Boss battles is my favorite thing out of every single game. And Dr. Zomboss's theme in the original game, which actually is called Brainiac Maniac, that was my favorite song out of the entire soundtrack of the game. And I actually ended up listening to a number of different remixes to that song via YouTube. And there was one particular remix that I absolutely love, which, for whatever reason, I can't seem to find anymore. I don't know why. I just can't find it. If I ever end up finding it, I will update the description and put that video there if you guys want to listen to it, but I can't make any promises that I'll be able to find it. Okay, so we're at, I want to say 1-4 at this point. Yes, we're on 1-4, which means we're about to encounter walnut bowling for the first time, which we have ourselves a shovel, which is the introduction to this game. This is where we learn about Crazy Dave. Now, I said I wasn't going to discuss the gameplay because of the fact that this game is so old, but this is one of the more interesting aspects of the game I've ever found, and this is actually quite difficult when you play the minigame version, because you have regular walnut bowling and then you have walnut bowling 2. Yeah, I'm just kind of skipping over Crazy Dave right now because pretty much everyone knows what he's saying. Now, when you play this game for the first time, it's actually quite easy, but if you play the game a second time and you're trying to unlock all those achievements, this level actually is a lot harder when you encounter it. So we're easy off right now, but if I were to play through all 50 levels and then try to complete them again, because there's actually an achievement on the game for beating the game twice, this minigame is much, much harder. And Walnut Bowling 2 as a minigame has giant walnuts, which takes out every single zombie in the lane it rolls down. which was an interesting concept, but the level itself was just so darn difficult. I mean, it was even much more difficult on the Nintendo DS version. It was that much harder because there were a number of aspects to the Nintendo DS version of the original game that were just so hard. It's not even funny they were that hard. Why PopCap went through the trouble to make it that much harder, I don't know. Although I will say that once we reach 2-5, if I ever actually... hold on guys, I'm getting a phone call. Sorry about that, guys. I actually got a phone call. I'm not going to discuss what's going on, so yeah, sorry about that. I don't know whether or not you actually heard my phone go off. I do apologize if it did get caught by my microphone. I apologize. Nope, no, I don't want to restart the level. Back team. Alright, now what was I saying before the phone call came? I actually don't remember. Oh yeah, the fact that the Nintendo DS version was so difficult. And that did not go according to plan. There were a number of aspects to the DS version that made it so difficult. For one, the star fruit was not as accurate in the Nintendo DS version, which made seeing stars that much harder. And minigame Pogo Party, if you guys know about that game, it's a roof level where you're trying to protect yourself from a whole bunch of Pogo Zombies. If you were using what am I saying? If I were to use a strategy that does not use capital plants on that, the best bet that you have on the DS for beating that minigame is actually to use, Starfruit, and even that's not successful. It is just so darn difficult. I don't know why the Nintendo DS version is more difficult than any other version. Now, once we actually reach level 2-5, we're actually going to be playing Wacky Zombie, which, quite honestly, regardless of what version of the game you're playing, every single touchscreen version of the game is actually so much easier. I remember I had so much trouble with Wacky Zombie on my computer because once the zombies move so fast, because they move rapidly once you get far enough into the level, moving your mouse across the screen to get every single zombie is hard, but touchscreen versions is just so much easier. Anyway, I think I've been rambling on about the game itself long enough, and I feel like this is probably a good place to go ahead and end the video off now. I honestly don't think I'm going to do another episode of this game, quite honestly, because one, when I do a game more than one Friday at a time, it starts losing support. And number two, if you guys want this game for yourself, you probably know where to go to find it. I'm not even going to put a link down in the description to where you can get it, because it's fairly obvious. You guys know about this game. It's one of the older games on the market, and there's really no need for me to put on them in the description. But if you guys do in fact want me to do this game again, let me know. Either hit the like button down below or leave a comment. Also, if you want, you can actually leave a comment on this video saying what random game you want me to play next. Now, quite honestly, even though I'm saying that, I do already have a few games in mind that I want to play, but I will still take suggestions from you guys regardless. Evo Creo, I do plan on doing a video or two sometime in the future, because I honestly feel like you guys would enjoy that game. If you guys ever play Pokemon, it's similar to that, but it has completely different mechanics, and I feel like it's completely different from Pokemon altogether. I want to showcase that game to you guys at some point. But anyway, I'm just kind of getting off topic here. I'm going to end the video off here. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you did, make sure to hit that like button. Want more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button for future content. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at AgentCPU0 to stay updated. This has been Zero Studios. Thank you guys for watching. And with that, I will see you guys later.